Hi there, this is Eternal King, and guess what? We've got a special treat for you today. We are looking at Bioshock 4. It's funny, I had someone comment on one of my videos recently, and they're saying, oh, they're working on Bioshock 4. I think what this individual didn't realize is that the developers of, Bioshock 1, Bioshock Infinite, they actually went off and split off to create an indie studio, and they created Voidbastards. Hopefully I can say that on YouTube without getting demonetized. It is the name of the video game. It is true that 2K is working on a Bioshock 4. It is also not necessarily the same people who worked on the previous Bioshocks. I in fact actually am closely familiar with the person who is, programming lead on the new Bioshock, and he was even an ex-Bethesda employee, and I can tell you that, he has no previous Bioshock experience. So again, I don't want to say that that's indicative of every single person who has ever worked on the Bioshock team. I don't want to say they all went to Voidbastards. And this is the true Bioshock 4 that we got. I don't want to say that that's definitively true, but it is very important to be cognizant of where staff goes and the projects they work on. So again, the makers of Bioshock 1, Bioshock Infinite, they split off, they made this video game instead. They made a roguelike called Voidbastards. The new team that is developing Bioshock 4 will largely be fresh staff. And again, I encourage you to be cognizant of this in regards to many, many things. Like, people talk about Obsidian. Obsidian is like one of the best traditional companies that have made RPGs in the past. But you have to understand that Tim Kane's not a part of Obsidian anymore. He was the creator of Fallout, but he's not a part of the team in Obsidian anymore. You've lost one of the head writers who wrote the Fallout Bible. He's not a part of Obsidian anymore. So what you have is these sort of long-term studios, game developing studios that actually bleed a lot of legacy staff that made that company who they are. Like, for example, you talk about Diablo 4. Diablo 4 is made by Blizzard, but it's not the same Blizzard, is it? It's a very different game. Diablo 4 is a live service game. It's not a tight, noir, dark, grimy, storytelling experience. Single-player storytelling experience.
Please follow the bouncing arrow to the line printer.
But, again, if you haven't had a chance to play Voidbastards, I strongly encourage it. It is a mix between Bioshock and FTL, and it is made by a lot of the legacy staff that is, again, made the original Bioshock. I hope that Bioshock 4 is not like Infinite, and chases modern trends. I hope that Bioshock 4 is like Bioshock 1, and it is an immersive sim, right? That's a dirty word. An immersive sim. You zap doors to open them. You light fires to, again, explode barrels. You unfreeze ice with your fire. You freeze things with your ice. And, you use your plasmids to interact with the environment. It's not just what Bioshock Infinite ultimately was, which was, a Halo shoot-'em-up. With light RPG elements. So again, I can't even really say that Bioshock 1 and Bioshock Infinite are the same game. They are not the same game. Bioshock 1 and Bioshock 2 are basically the same, but Bioshock Infinite is a totally different thing. And Bioshock 4 will be a totally different thing. It'll have the Bioshock name, but that doesn't mean it has anything to do with System Shock 2. Voidbastards feels like a Bioshock game mixed with a roguelike. But again, they're also making a new Bastards title that is also going to be a totally different game. You have to understand that with the passage of time, studios change, franchises change, games change. And as you basically have been gaming for 30 years like I have from the 90s, you learn these things. Again, I'm a lot like, I listen to Yahtzee quite a bit. If you don't know Yahtzee, he was laid off from The Escapist. He made zero punctuation. He is making YouTube videos again. As you get older and you've been, sort of consuming video games for 30 plus years, you start to develop these sort of zoomed out large focus ideas. I am a fan of Bioshock. I am not a fan of Bioshock Infinite. I might not be a fan of Bioshock 4. This is Eternal King, signing out.